Hello everyone. Today we will look at how to write pipelines. This is I am learning, as I mentioned, learning machine learning, and I'm using Aurélien Géron's scikit-learn book. The link is in the description and in the video as well. So we have previously written my transform, right, class my. So there's one thing I want to mention, which is that last time when we were discussing, I put values instead of x, values here. So that has to be x, because that is the value which we, when you call transform, we are basically calling x, and x will come here, not the values. So it might have worked because the values was already available on the as a global variable on the space here. So now, so we have this my transformer on our df, and we can, for example, uh, if you look at here, the x, for example, we want df dot values, right? We use the array values, the numpy array values. So now, but so we can write a transformer, for example, and transform the values to into arrays. So let us do that. For example, I have div dot columns. So we need, for example, we don't need this and this. So numerical attributes are all these. So we can just say numerical equal to, I go up to, this is -1, this is -2. I can index up to -2. So -2 is not included. I can convert into list. And our lab, and the last one is my categorical attribute, which I call lab, right? So now what I can do with this is that I can just take df and I can say numerical dot values, right? And similarly I can do df, I can index with the lab and values. So let us do for example, I can we can do a transformer for do that, to get the matrix or the array. So let us do a class, so get matrix, and then first thing will be what, let of init, and we can self, right, dot columns, which will be the categorical or the label attribute or the numerical attribute. Since I self dot columns equal to columns, and the first one you remember, which is a fit, it's the same idea, and I can return self, and then I can do is transform and return what you want to return, basically the index x, right, with the self dot columns, the columns which can be numerical or the label. And let us see if it's working. I can call on the label attribute, so it's giving fine, and if I change it to numerical, it is also, let us see if it works also. So it is working fine. So another thing we can look at is df dot columns, right? And if you look at df dot, for example, total bedrooms, if you look at describe it, what we can see is that this is a 6445, and its one minimum value is 1, right? And the variation, if you look at, and for example, if you look at the median income, see, only 1 to 15, right? So there's a big difference in the scale. So we can use, for example, the standard scaler from sklearn.preprocessing, import standard scaler, and if you look at that, basically it to scale the value to in order to get a scale it, these values, so that we don't have that much spread, we basically subtract the mean and divides by the the variance. So we can use that too. So now, so we can do first, we do the imputer and do the remove all the nans, then we can pass into then we can pass, first of all we have to get first we'll get our attributes, the matrix. First we can get the matrix, and then we can pass into the imputer, and then we can do the combined attribute thing, the transformer that we wrote, and then finally we scale it. So we have to do 1 2 3 4 5, you know. And so rather than that, we can use a pipeline. We can put everything together, which will sequentially call the feed transform method. So let us do that. So from scikit-learn dot pre pipelines, we can import the pipeline. Okay. So now, so how do we do that? It's very simple. I can say we have the numerical, we have to process it, and we have to process the label attributes. So I can say my pipeline numerical equal to pipeline. We'll supply everything as a tuple of list of tuples. Okay, the first one I just put any like a string describing what it is. For example, first one was force. We have to get the matrix, right? So get matrix or get array, you know, that. And then we can do second thing was to remove the nan, right? And I can do something like what we wrote. See, we wrote here, what did we call as get matrix? Yeah, the nan value was a simple imputer, right? And strategy equal to median, and then comma, and the next one is a combined attribute, right? This was a transformer we wrote. We can also pass a constructor value to bedrooms per room, you know. And then finally we can scale, you know. And then I close my list and then close the whole thing, and then now we can see if it is working. So my pipeline numerical dot fit transform df. So now it basically it went through. First it did the get matrix thing and applied fit transform. The resulting thing it has passed to the simple imputer, then my transformer, and finally to the scaler. So now we can do the similar thing, for example, for our we can do it for our label attributes as well. So this is so we'll conclude this discussion here, and we'll continue from here. We'll continue in the next time, the next video. And thank you very much for watching.